Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome back to yet another video. I'm your host Madnek as always, and this is a condition builds update video. Many of you asked me some questions, if it's on YouTube or in the game or any other way that you can contact me, and asked me about updates on the latest patches or updates that we had since the 15th of April. And many of you asked me if I've changed anything or if I've developed my gear or character in any way, shape or form. So I'm gonna show you today the things that I've invested in. But first of all, I would like to say thank you for ArenaNet for allowing us the reset talents, which is for free now. It's amazing, the refund, it's really brilliant. Thank you for that. That was great. Really was. I would wish that they would add like a template, so to speak, for gear and traits. Like you can save a specific trait tree or gear, and then you switch over, you know, on a click of a button you just switch to that setup instead of resetting and doing it over and over again, which might take a few minutes. Sometimes depends on what you change and whatnot. But screw about that. I mean, whatever ArenaNet done so far, it's amazing. So thank you for that. So we're gonna go through the builds and the traits and whatnot. First of all, the PvE build. Also, thank you for the wardrobe. That was really awesome to have. So we're used for the pistol dagger build, right? And we're swapping for the 3 stacks of battle, and we get the 6% condition damage overall that is gained to us. You won't see like the full condition damage because I am in a low level. As you can see, 69, scaling down, but whatever. I'm just gonna talk through my gear and whatnot. The gear is still dire, as you can see. On all my armor items, except for the chest that I have not got yet, I am going for extra 4 vitality. And on the weapons, except for this dagger, which I haven't got yet either, I'm going for extra 4th condition damage. And all the gear is dire, pure dire. And whatever is defensive infusion, then it's vitality, and whatever is offensive infusion, it's condition damage. Okay? Now, what have we changed and what have we done? So first of all, I am going all the way with Superior Rune of the Undead right now, because the 6th bonus has been buffed by 2%. It used to be 5% of my toughness, now it's 7% of my toughness. Which means with the food that I will eat, let's eat the food, the koi cakes and the mustard tuning crystals. By the way, you don't have to eat the koi cakes, I prefer it because of the 40% condition duration. That's my personal preferences, that you can go with any other food that you prefer basically. So with that, with everything, especially the nourishment that is the crystal, the mustard tuning crystal, gain condition damage equal to 6% of your toughness and gain condition damage equal to 4% of my vitality. Now that's 6% of my toughness added to the 7%, that is 13% of my toughness will be converted to condition damage, and that is a lot. Okay, and I'll explain why in a second. Whoops, always doing that. Right, so about the PvE build, what are we doing in dungeons, or perhaps in soloing, or perhaps in soloing champions, I mean, or perhaps doing some solo quests or farming or whatever, right? So we used to have, and I'm gonna talk in short numbers now instead of 30 and etc. I'm just gonna use the numbers 4 and 6. So we used to have 6 in Shadow Arts, 4 in Acrobatics, and 4 in Trickery. I've done a trade-in for a little bit of survivability and a little bit offensive for extra and much more powerful offensive that I used to have before. So we're going for 4 in Shadow Arts, right? We're gonna have Shadow's Embrace to remove conditions, because I love that trait, it's just brilliant, and Shadow Protector for the extra, you know, for survivability, basically, the regen, 10 seconds of regen that heals me even if I'm not in stealth. It's brilliant. Then we're going for, by the way, I don't have this last ability. I always try to kill Karka Queen, or whatever her name is, and I usually log in as she dies, or few hours before she dies, and then I have to log off by the time I need to kill her. Right, so we're going for 4 points in here, and we're going for Vigorous Recovery and Power of Inertia, okay? Don't forget, I always say that in this build, the 4, 4, and 6, the dodging is not only a defensive ability, it's as much as an offensive ability, because it drops caltrops that we're gonna apply here, and it gives me might, and I can basically regen it as much as I want because of a Feline Grace. And if it's a very, very heavy dodge fight, then there's always Signet of Agility that I just really, really love, because it gives me 100% of endurance, so it just refills the whole bar. If it's around here, whoop, everything filled in. So in here you can go, like I usually say, either for Ricochet or for Bountiful Thief. It's really up to you. If it's a boss fight or you're soloing a champion that does not have ads, I would say almost 100% that Bountiful Thief is the way to go. If it has mobs and whatnot, then I would go for Ricochet, okay, because it bounces and it spreads the bleeds, which is really beneficial for you as a thief, as a condition thief, more to say, right? Then, you know, we're not berserker thieves, are we? Now this one is a new Grandmaster trait, right? But which was added at the last patch of April 15th. And I've tested out this build, it's amazingly good. So this is the sacrifice that we made, okay? We used to have 2 stacks of might for 18 seconds, as it says over there, every time I go to stealth, right? And then we had another here, another Grandmaster trait that gives us rejuvenation, that heals me every second for X amount of health, as long as I'm in stealth. If I'm not in stealth, that does not heal me. So we sacrifice that, and we sacrifice 100 toughness, which is added to my armor, and we sacrificed, you know, because of the 13% or whatever, then we sacrifice like 13 condition damage to the condition itself. We sacrifice that, we don't have it anymore. Instead, we're gaining 100 extra condition damage, which is a lot, and we're resetting, lowering the cooldown on steel to 27 seconds. And we're gaining, this is a really minor buff, it does not really affect us condition damagers. It does affect, like, as you can see, for example, double strike, right? So it says damage multiplied by 2, 156. So this 156 will be affected by increased damage per initiative, right? So if I'll have, for example, 10 initiatives, then the damage of 156 will be increased by 10%, which means it will add about 15 or 16 more damage. It's really nothing if you think about it, because we rarely use that, but it's not really nothing, because we do damage, like for example over here 168, right, and that's multiple by 3. So those white damages, they do stack up, and on the long fight you will see, like, they'll probably do about 10% of the damage or something like that. And I'm just exaggerating with numbers because I don't have the calculations of that, because I don't really care about the calculation of that, okay? I just focus on the conditions here. So this one, it applies confusion, and if we were at maximum level right now at 80%, with those buffs it would give me 2.2k damage, okay? And this extra condition damage is a really good bonus, because with our build any condition damage, any condition ability is good for us. Okay, anything, if it's bleeds, if it's poison, any kind of poison or venom, and if it's confusion, and if it's burning, and if it's whatever you want to put to that list, it does count for everything. Like, so fully buffed, fully geared, fully, well, not fully geared, but you know, with the gear, with the traits, with everything, we should be at around 1.7k condition damage. Although I think we should, I think it's supposed to be like 2k damage or something. I don't remember. Doesn't matter. And over 2k toughness as well. Sorry, 3k armor. So just something to say that once you get to 3k armor, it's I don't want to say it for 100%, but I've noticed like a drastic drop on armor gained once I've got to 3k armor. So 3k armor, and I usually, if I would be at a level 80 area right now, then I would probably have about 20k HP. 3k armor, 20k HP, doing a lot of condition damage. It's crazy, guys. It's really, really good. And sigils and runes are the same. We have another sigil, and I am using my shortbow, my condition shortbow, in dungeons, for example, or take out multiple mobs and whatnot. We have an extra condition, extra sigil now. So my dire shortbow has sigil of bursting that adds 6% of the current condition damage, because I don't want to lose those 6%, and the superior sigil of corruption, because if I'm mass AoEing with my bow, spamming 4, well, using 4 and then spamming 2 all the time, killing all those mobs around me, give me a lot of corruption. So that's really good, especially for AoEs and whatnot, and it's awesome in dungeons. I've also tried another build that I'm using in PvP and Wvw, and I've tested out in dungeons, and it's really, really beneficial for one main reason, and I'll explain everything in a second once we get to the second build, which would be in a few seconds. Just wanna go over my list that I have right now. Oh yeah, I forgot to say something else. You see, I have a list prepared because I would freaking confuse myself and forget what I wanna say and do, right? But here's the thing. As you can see, right, I'm mostly going for raw condition damage, and this is for one main reason, because I'm sacrificing a lot of duration. I'm getting only for 40% condition duration, and that's about it. And this is because I am mostly involved in shorter fights, and if they are still longer fights, then there are other condition appliers. Like, for example, we can't stack up more than 25 bleeds. So if I'll stack up 20 bleeds, right, and there's someone else that applies bleeds, then his bleeds will overwrite mine, and my bleeds will overwrite his. So the damage is like split between us. You know, the more you apply bleeds, that the chance of you doing more damage than that guy is a bit higher. But if you would be the only one that applies bleeds, your damage would be probably multiplied by 2. And I'm not joking with that measurement. I've tested in many groups, in many dungeons, and it just nerfing the damage that you as a condition applier, it just nerfs it. It really does. So I am dropping on the condition duration, but I'm sticking to the condition damage much more right now. But the 40% duration to all conditions, if it's poison, burning, confusion, whatever, it helps. It really helps, right? When we're using, let's refund the traits. Amazing, love it. When we're using the Poisoneer, quick venoms, and you can use, if you're a Poisoneer and you don't use steel much, then Mug would be quite pointless for you. Then you should go for Venomous Strength, because that is 20 seconds might, which is amazing. I usually use it in dungeons if I'm going Poisoneer, In PvP I prefer to use Mug, or if you're doing like a world boss or whatever, and you are a Poisoneer build. We're going for Venomous Aura and Leeching Venoms and Shadow's Embrace, because this one is amazing not to have. And then again, Bountiful Thief or Ricochet, depends on you, depends on what you're fighting against. Let's just go for Bountiful Thief for now. And Uncatchable, sorry. That's the traits for Poisoneer. I am using most of the time, like 99.99999% until tomorrow we draw, because why not use it? It's amazing. Venoms that I use, and if I am in a dungeon, Caltrops, and if I'm PvPing, Ambush, and if I'm PvPing or dungeoning, this elite is amazing and better to have. This one is more for solo targets, like if you're fighting a champion, or if you're fighting 1 against 2 or 1 against 1, depends on, you know, on the situation. Then this setup is by far better. But if not, then Caltrops and Dagger Storm is amazing. Now, if you use what I wanted to do is, right, if you go for like this, for example, right, dagger, pistol, and short bow, and you go for Ricochet, right? Let's go for Ricochet. There you go. In a dungeon, you just drop like number 4, and you spread those poisons to your friends. Drop the Caltrop and do like this, bam, 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 bam. You will do so much damage and so much bursting to the AoE and whatnot targets. It's really good, because this build right now, the Poisoneer in dungeons, it's very effective build. Like I've said, if there's another one that applies conditions, and most classes, even though they don't want to apply condition because they're like Berserker build or whatever build, or tanking build, whatever you want to call it, their abilities still apply conditions, and those conditions can conflict your conditions and override them, which is not a favorable thing to do. Wow, my English is very, yeah. So, going for supportive condition build and still doing the enough damage, and you know, this build, this shares. Like if I apply this to my party, right, then the target, like the boss, will have 15 stacks of that, and the duration of poison would be amazingly good, you know. And this is comes down to considerations that what you want to do, and you know, how you want to play it. Now in World v World, the layout is about the same, exactly the same. I go for Ricochet usually when I run with the group. Something that I want to say, that a lot of people told me that when they play Pistol Dagger, the only use they find in the build, like in the utilities, to Cloak and Dagger and Sneak Attack, Cloak and Dagger, Sneak Attack, Cloak. But if you see at your freaking skills here, 1 to 5, you have amazing skills to have. Someone's running away from you, press number 2, you will immobilize him, right? Someone is bashing your face and you want to disengage, press number 3, you'll disengage and apply 2 stacks of Torment, which is amazing. It really, really is amazing. Don't forget your condition applier, your condition damage. Use that, man. You want to slow someone down that is running away from you, and you don't want to use the body shot right now, then freaking use Dancing Dagger. This actually applies 4 target. Like if you have 4 targets that are chasing your guy or whatever, and your guy is trying to run away, you want to save him, or I don't know, any situation, like a ball carrier, right, in PvP, and you're using Pistol Dagger right now. Throw that Dancing Dagger down, man. Slow the target down for 4 seconds. Nothing, you know, you won't lose anything from it. You will help your team. So you have all those utilities. Yes, the main use is Cloak and Dagger and Sneak Attack, because we do apply stealth to ourselves. We clear conditions if we have any on ourselves, and we gain 2 stacks of might, and we you know, fire 5 shots and apply 5 bleeds. Yes, this is like the main use. I'm saying it like very like edgy with the main use, because this build is amazing. Just learn the rotation, learn what you want to do and whatnot. And that's about it, guys. I mean, oh, by the way, one other thing, I don't have the print screen on it. I should have made print screen, but I don't care. Some engineer left a message, and I didn't even want to reply to that because that is such a retarded message. Some engineer claimed that condition thieves are overpowered because engineers cannot remove conditions. So I fought many warriors before, which were becoming like clearing conditions of becoming immune to anything, and I fought engineers that I fight them like for, I don't know, 30 seconds or 1 minute, and they're immune to my conditions. Anything I do, like bleeds, poisons, they're just immune. It says immune, 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 like get off my back, if you know what I mean. So learn your build, learn your classes, man. Learn a build or something, whatever. Everything can be beaten and everything can be survived, so to speak, if you know how to play and if you know what to do. One other note to the berserker builds, and whoever is trying or want to roll a berserker build, I would suggest, if you are going for dagger pistol or dagger in your backstabber, many of you use shadow step. I would suggest to use shadow trap. Okay, it's 5 seconds less cooldown. The range is amazing, which means you can teleport once it's triggered, and even if it's not triggered, let's just apply it right here, right? So if I press it again right now, it will teleport me to the trap with that range of 10,000. I don't know if it's yards or meters or whatever it is in the game. It breaks stuns and it will put a regen on me for 5 seconds. So it teleports me away from wherever I am, right? And if it is triggered, then you can use Shadow Pursuit. It gives you stealth, it gives you fury for 5 seconds, and it gives you 10 stacks of might, which is amazing. It really is amazing. And it don't pay attention to the 309 power. It's actually 360 power. Wait, is it? No, 350 power. Sorry, I'm adding 10 extra power because I can. Right, 350 power, and it breaks stuns. And usually it will teleport you right behind your target. So you're right behind it with 10 stacks of might, fury, and you can backstab it. I've tested out, not for a long time, but I've tested out for enough matches to know that this is one of my favorite things to use if I'm going as a pistol dagger or dagger backstabber, because it is so good in trolling people. It's really amazing. I just freaking enjoy it. So that's about it, guys. This is the condition builds, this is the condition layout and setup. I'm still checking out what can I do with the PvP build, like TPvP. I mean, the build is this. I'm just looking into more sigils and whatnot, because they changed the way, the nature of the sigils now. Well, not now, the 15th of April. And I am testing out which is better for a condition build. So as soon as I'll have some results on that one, like the preferable results, I can already share with you, right? You can use swap on weapons, right? Swap on weapons gives you I use battle, for example. So swap on weapons give me 3 stacks of might, but on a second weapon that I use, like I use, this is the layout that I have on in PvP, right? This is the way it looks like, because it doesn't matter how many times I will swap, it will have pistol and dagger, right? It just swaps between this set, so to speak, and this set, so to speak, right? But it still shares the same front, you know, front main hand, offhand thing. So if I'll use a superior sigil of battle on this hand, and I'll use superior sigil of doom, for example, that applies poison on swap, right? My next attack will apply poison. Then if I'll swap weapons, I'll gain 3 stacks of might and my next attack will apply poison. Or you can go for leeching, for example, which is also on swap. So next I'll swap weapons. That means it gives me 3 stacks of might, and my next attack will heal me, I think it for 975, which is not bad at all. It's almost 1k heal right there. Just shoot your weapon and that's it. There's also a water something, I don't remember, renewal, sorry. So every time you swap weapon, it instantly heal you and your party in a 360 radius. It's a small heal, it's like 400 something heal, and it's more like out of your hands, so to speak, because it happens instantly. And unlike the leeching, for example, that you control it, you can you don't want to attack now, you want to attack in a second from now, or any reason or anything else that comes into consideration, whatever, right? So you can control that more than the renewal, although the renewal is more of a supportive swap weapon thing. So the swap weapons, for example, they stack, or for example Sigil of Energy that instantly refills 50% of your endurance, right? So if you're dodging and you need endurance and you just swap weapons, you get 50% of endurance. That there you go, you can dodge once more or whatever, right? So all those ideas are still in test. You can test them out. I mean, the build is still the Poisoneer. This is what I enjoy to use in PvP. It's really good for it's really good for supporting the group, and it's really good for 1v1 or 1v2. It depends, of course, who you're fighting. If you're fighting an engineer, then it's gonna be a hard fight, or if you're fighting a spiritual ranger or whatever, then those spirits can block off your shots, which is annoying, because then the poison damage does not go to the ranger, it goes to everything else around it. It's just body blocking, which is quite annoying. Smart rangers know how to use that. Just stick in the middle of the freaking spirits and try to get me, right? But like I said before, everything can be downed and everything can be killed. So just test it out, guys. This is the build, this is the Poisoneer. And the first part we had the Madnek Syndrome build, which we swapped from 36 points here, 446. This is the build, going for the major trait here, the Grandmaster trait, which is Bewildering Ambush. It's really good. This is it, guys. Hope you enjoyed this. I've been blubbering for a long time now, and I hope I helped you guys. See you guys later, and stay tuned for more videos. Bye bye.